Alright guys, this is going to be a video on the canik TP9. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, maybe a little bit more detailed of the quality of this pistol, in case you're curious and you're kind of on the fence about, quality. So let's get right into it. I'm assuming by now, if you're actually watching my video, that you've seen a lot of other ones. You've seen Nut and Fancy's video where he basically says go and buy this pistol, and says it's good, it's quality, so on and so forth. The only qualm he had, and he said he got used to it and it wasn't a big deal for shooting, was a heavy single action pull. I can tell you that the three I handled and most of the reviews out there say it's a 5-pound single action trigger. Mine is. So I don't know if something's wrong with Nut and Fancies, or maybe it's shipped with some different internals, but I think chances are you're going to get a 5-pound single action trigger. So if you're like me, there's no gun store around to go handle it, and you're going to buy it online. I ended up buying this from a private party, so I got to try it. I would say take the dive, and you're most likely going to get a really nice single action trigger. But here's some of the quality stuff a lot of people don't go into detail about. The Metgar magazines are top quality stuff. Mine is an 18 rounder. It does hold 18 rounds. The 18th round is pretty difficult to get in there at first, but it will go. Gotta just use your man strength. But the coating is what makes these so good. The coating on the inside, especially in a double stack where you're just forcing 18 rounds in there, bullets would have a tendency to bind, especially if it gets a little dirty, if it doesn't have a coating. And they'll bind, and it'll look like they're feeding properly, but they won't be all the way putting pressure up here on the top or something, and so it won't be the right angle and whatnot, and you'll have feeding problems, and you'll probably think it's the gun. So that's pretty awesome. It comes with two of these, and it just doesn't get any more quality than that. So that's cool, top quality. The Serpa holster look-alike thing is of top quality too, but it is loose. The gun fits in there a little loose, so I put some little, whatever you do, I would definitely line it with something a little bit to tighten it up. That's what I would do. All the millwork and stuff on the inside is really nice. I know you can't see from my very unprofessional camera there, but it's really, really nice. I mean, it looks absolutely perfect. There's nothing cheap looking about it or anything like that. I mean, everything is very well cleaned up, and there's no tooling marks. It looks beautiful, really. The only place I can see some tooling marks is on the right here in the ejection port. It looks like they had it all cleaned up, and then after the fact, probably when they measured it for spec, there was a little bit too high right here, and so you can see the circular thing where they must have went in and took off a little bit. But I don't give a shit. I really don't care at all. It still looks beautiful to me, and of course, it's coated with this green Cerakote. So, but yeah, everything looks really solid. Other than that, it comes with front posts to adjust for elevation, windage adjustable rears. So if you're like me and you hand load, that's pretty cool, because some loads, may literally shoot way high or way low or whatever in comparison. So it's neat to have the elevation. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is it ejects perfectly. And I've noticed that every single one I've seen fired, if you're a hand loader, it's just a nice thing to have. It ejects about 1 foot to the right. I mean, sometimes it barely even clears your shoulder and just lands right there in a perfect pile. So if you're at the range or whatever, I just put like a tarp there, a little baby tarp, and it just catches all my rounds at the end of the day. Pick up the tarp and go. That's really nice. My 1911 is not consistent enough to do that. I end up losing some rounds. So that's cool if you're a hand loader. But here's some of the top quality stuff that you don't hear a lot about. The steel tabs are completely embedded in the polymer, and they're steel, so it's just like any other polymer pistols, Glock, whatever, and that's pretty cool. All the internals are poly-coated, which means slippy. It slips around really nice, less friction, and rust resistant. I of course polished up all the touching parts on the trigger to make it smoother, especially the double action hook on the spring, and now it's just buttery smooth all the way through. The barrel is cold forged, nothing special there, but it's chrome lined, which is pretty special. That's pretty special to come with chrome lining in it right out of the box. And then the second very special thing to me, if you guys have ever had problems with feeding in a gun, and you don't have a throated barrel, you probably got your barrel throated. And it might have fixed up the problem just perfectly. What it does, the barrel being throated a little bit, allows for some mistakes in angle, or it also allows for the bullets to be a little grimy, the chamber to be a little dirty, and it just ensures better feeding more consistently. So that's really nice, man. That's a really nice feature. And I don't know of any competitors in the $600 price range that does that. I'm not saying there isn't any, but I know that most of them just there's no throating. Like Glocks, I know they're not throated. So that's another really nice feature that comes with it right out of the box. Top quality stuff. Comes with 2 back straps. I used the smallest one first, and I liked it. Felt good. And then I tried this just for kicks. It actually felt a little too funny because it increases the length of the pull. And I guess I was used to the other one, so I kind of was like, I don't. But, just for testing's sake, I put it on and shot a couple hundred rounds through it. And I noticed right off the bat that I have way more control over recoil with the larger one on there. And I just have medium-sized hands, so that's something to note. Maybe it doesn't really feel like you need it, but something about it kind of it forces your hand up higher in the beaver tail and closer to the bore axis, I think is what it does. So that's pretty cool. And the polymer seems to be top notch. I'm not a big fan of polymer pistols or polymer in general, but it feels just as nice as any other polymer. It seems very well sturdy. The magwell doesn't flex at all whatsoever. Everything is real sturdy. Yeah, and it looks like it wouldn't just chafe or get little, oh man, shavings. I lost the word there. Shavings or anything like that. It seems like it's pretty good quality. And yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about some of those things, like the throating, the chrome lined, and that it comes with a steel guide rod instead of some of these dudes trying to rip us off and give us a pistol with the polymer guide rod. And you may say, oh, that'll work. It'll last millions. Well, it may, but it may also break. And if it breaks right here and the spring is no longer encased, well, you're screwed. And steel just ensures that makes it a lot less likely, and I just don't see why. You know what I mean? To save that extra little bit of cents, it's just bullshit. Give us a steel guide rod. That's what takes all the beating, so just give it to us in steel, huh? So, yeah, that's about it, guys. I just wanted to discuss some of those things, and I wanted to basically give you, if you're like me and you're kind of on the fence and you were concerned about that, and most people just go, oh, it's real top quality. You wanted to know a little bit more. There you have it. And my trigger is lovely. I love it. It was nicer than the comparative polymer pistols I was holding, the M&Ps, XDs, Glocks. It's nicer. It's lighter. It's shorter. It's super short. First of all, it's got a little bit of take up, and then the wall, 5-pound trigger, and then the reset is just the same. audible and feelable. Look at that. That's super short, man. So it's real easy to just plop, 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 plop off rounds. The barrel to slide lockup is top notch. It's super tight. And this is, I almost hate to say this, this is becoming my favorite gun. I have a lot of handguns, and this is becoming my favorite pistol, and it's even beating out, and I don't even really want to say this, it's beating out my favorite, or ex-favorite, which was a 1911 Rock Island, that I loved because it just has one of those beautiful 1911 single action triggers. It's just real easy to pull, and it kind of rolls instead of breaks, and you know, the trigger's definitely probably better on that one. But the thing is, this is so accurate for me. I'm way more accurate with this more consistently than my 1911 or any of my pistols. You know, I did a little bit of fooling around with the sights, but I mean, I hit really small swingers at 20 yards, 2-inch swingers, 9 times out of 10, where with my 45, 4 out of 10, something like that. So that's just an observation, personal observation, but, you know, when a gun's that accurate, and especially if you're shooting steel and you can just hit a lot more targets, it makes it a lot more fun. And then, of course, only 8 rounds versus 18, you do a lot more shooting and a lot less loading. So, super fun range gun. And I've carried a full-size 1911 concealed pretty much the whole time I've ever carried concealed. So this is nothing to conceal from me. You know, a lot of guys want a little baby mouse gun. This thing's nothing to conceal. You know, especially if you kind of deep conceal it and you just barely let the handle stick out like, you know, that. Nothing to it. There's no sharpness to, you know, like 1911, the hammer. I carry it cocked and locked. The hammer pokes a lot, but so there's nothing to it. Pretty damn thin, you know, especially for being double stacked. Easy to conceal. I think. I have no problem concealing a full-size handgun whatsoever, so, you know, and I'm skinny, I don't know what that matters. Everybody goes, oh, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny. Nah, whatever, dude. Put on the proper pants, proper belt, and I carry in free balls. I don't use a holster of any kind, so maybe that's why I like them, because this keeps it thin. So there you have it, guys. I hope you guys buy one. I hope that kind of influenced you or maybe cleared up some things for you. It's definitely worth the money. I mean, forget about for the money. This thing is most definitely worthy of paying $500. If you didn't know any better, and it wasn't some off-brand that we didn't know about here in America, I guarantee people would pay $500 and feel like they got a deal. If it was just $50 less than any of the other guns, it would still sell like crazy, because there's nothing less quality about this than the $600 pistols. So there you have it. I hope you guys want it, buy it. It's a damn good gun, and I think I just owe it to the community, the gun community, to tell you about it. So there you guys go. Thanks for watching.